stuff on your phone. I don't know why you're shuffling papers like some news wanker man, news anchor guy in the background, stroking your beard like that. It's technology. Plug in to the Omnissiah, dude.
So I get all of our questions from the Discord. I get them printed off and laminated and bound, ready to go. So it's, I want to provide a top-notch service.
Written on pages of human skin, bound in unicorn fur.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Only the best materials.
Yeah.
Now, we didn't press record when we first met up, did we? No, we are recording. This is it. Yeah,
that's why I got the law shades on, because this is the ST.
This is the STC, the Storytime podcast.
Yes,
but I wanted to skip all that introduction
Storytime
stuff because
right.
I'm still riding a high. Because what did you ask me when
I asked you? This is like I'm the Emperor. You're Malcador, right? You're not Dawn.
Yeah, right.
You're not like holding the wall or anything like that. Okay. Yeah. I mean, you could run a mile, but you're not breaking any records. Anyway, but I said, my sigillite, name that book cover. That is a book cover. Name that bad boy. And you nailed it. 1 out of 1. Nailed it first time.
It took me a minute. I said, okay, it's iconic. It's from the first 4 books. And I looked at it for a moment. And I said, Flight of the Eisenstein. Did anyone else get that at home? Yes, no. Send your answers in a postcard.
Yes. Yeah. Answers on a postcard too.
Like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell icon. Otherwise, you won't get the. I've got a bit of coconut in my.
Why have you got some coconut? Why have you got nut in your mouth?
That's because you always want that. Trust me. Cream.
Talking about because you've got quite a growth there.
Yeah.
I trimmed my bush today.
Did you?
Yeah, man. Proper trim it. Yeah, it was manky and everything, sticky down there. But I got back from holiday and it needed a good trimming. Plus, it got me outside of the house. It was nice weather today.
Stand out in the garden?
Trimming my bush,
Yeah, lovely.
That's where my bush is.
Anyway, we should probably introduce this properly. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the STC podcast, the Storytime cast, with me, Warsmith. What's my name?
Warsmith Chris. You're always Warsmith. You're playing around with other things now. What's the new army that you're working on that you've been smashing out for 30k?
I'm doing Night Lords 30k.
Yeah.
I've got a little bit of white scars going
40K.
On for the old 40k because 10th edition is exciting me. We'll talk about that in a minute.
10th edition is it? Which bits is it tickling? I haven't asked you.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. So at the time of this happening. Yesterday, some very naughty man on the internet leaked a big chunk of the 10th edition rulebook. It's going through the community. Everyone knows about it. It's doing the rounds. Memes out already. So I did leap at the chance to have a little look through the PDFs. And you know what? I'm very excited about it. I think it looks like a really cool, kind of streamlined, advanced 8th and 9th amalgamation that's just evolved to the next level. So if it was a creature, it would now have 6 pairs of milk filled udders.
Right.
It would have 2 big arms for grabbing and stuff, and powerful legs. Well, I'm just saying that the beast that is 40k seems to have refined itself a little bit.
Udders, that's how powerful legs, like 8th and 9th had a love baby. That's what you said.
Yeah.
Because it's got...
Is that how you're feeling about it?
It's got less of the of 9th edition and more of the laid back, let's just roll dice, have fun, and 8th edition vibe. So it's somewhere squidged in the middle there. What most excites you, though, about these love udders or whatever else you were talking about? What
I like the new Battleshock system looks really good. I really like the idea.
Yes.
I believe it is a little bit borrowed from 30k. Like, I haven't played 30k yet, but I have read some of the rules. In the fact that you don't just have your lovely elite warriors, like gene-wrought warriors of the Imperium, just going, you know what, I can't take this anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to run away.
Yeah.
Now you disorganize the unit they're trying to. They don't know what's going on. Everyone, they're lost in the haze of battle.
Yeah,
I like that for Battleshock, and I like what that presents for my 40k Night Lords army. That I never quite pushed it to completion. I've got my custom with the old Warlord and everything.
Because all the Night Lords and a bunch of the other grisly trophies hanging off the side of a Dark Eldar love bus. Apart from these things, there wasn't much that monkeyed around with leadership in the old editions, and also everything was no fear or fearless or this, that, and the other. But even Guilliman's got a leadership of 5, and Abaddon's got a leadership of 5, so they potentially could fail Battleshock tests, and not have any strats put on them, and have an OC value of 0. They're a bit discombobulated as all the bolt gun shells come raining in, doing no damage to him, but he's 1 wound. He's like, what was that?
I like the idea that the guys are under duress and can't complete whatever the mission there is at that moment. That's much more narrative sense in a world where everybody's constantly at war.
Yeah.
And are
where everyone's a hero anyway. No one breaks and runs away. It's just sometimes some armies get a bit more discombobulated than others. So the humans, lower leadership, unless I'm sure we'll have something with a commissar. We haven't seen a fearless unit yet. And I want it to be the commissar. Because even Tyranids, even in Synapse was fearless. That was the one thing that Tyranids had and have always had. You stay in Synapse. I don't care about leadership, and they've taken it away from Tyranids. This is a big thing. They still roll 3d6 for Battleshock when they're in Synapse range, but so Fearless is gone in the most fearless of fearlessy factions ever, but I still want it to still be there with the Commissar. Not just 1 mortal wound, so he does D3 mortal wounds, like summary execution, bam, D3 mortal wounds. Pistol. Yeah. You don't run away because you're more concerned. Oh, no, it's Battleshock. No one's running away. It's like they jumped to the task. It doesn't matter what all the gunfire coming in and 5 of them got cut down and chests are exploding and arms are falling off. The Commissar is saying, you're going to dig that trench right now. And the guys do. That's what it is.
Massively narrative, massively thematic. I would absolutely love that.
I
absolutely love that now... people like the Night Lords, the scary boys, whose whole gimmick is
being scary,
putting people on edge. It's not about making a fellow Space Marine run away screaming, which just wouldn't happen.
No.
But what it does do is the Night Lords are somewhere nearby. It's dark. You're in there trying to capture a data module or whatever you're trying to do.
How did that shot come from the left? I thought they were on the right. And just 1 bullet comes in and the guy goes down.
And they all go into position. They can't carry on doing the mission. They've got to form up. They've got to scout the area. It's disorganizing them. Love it. Much better.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Very happy about that.
Yeah.
What about you? What is there things that are exciting you in particular?
2 things stood out for me, and they were quite most recent ones. One is yesterday when the Eldari stuff came out, which I thought, this is busted, because suddenly they've got 12 dice, they can make 6s if there's a Farseer nearby, plus they're re-rolling hit rolls of 1, plus they're re-rolling wound rolls of 1, which was the old thingy bob, what was it called, Master Artisans, which was re-roll a hit roll of 1, re-roll a wound roll of 1, and that was so busted that they dropped it from that to just re-roll a hit roll of 1 for 9th edition,
everyone
but
took
put it back in for 10th edition, and it's in an army where you can already get 12 6s, and I'm looking at Eldari saying, this is a dice rolling game, fellas, why they don't, it seemed a bit busted, and that made me raise a red flag in my tiny little brain until the night stuff came out today, which is the day when we're filming it. So knights get to re-roll hit rolls of 1 and re-roll wound rolls of 1 for everything, and the battle cannon looks derpy, and the thunder coil harpoon does a flat 12 damage, and on a 4 that's a flat 12 mortal wounds. It's I want to play some knights. I want to play with the big boys. I want to play with the big boys against the Eldari. That would be an epic thing. I think they're going to be tough, and they're going to be tough, and I love killing me some pixies. So that is the thing that got me most sweaty in the last couple of weeks. Well, apart from the lovely sunshine, and you can see the tan. You've got to get away.
Yeah.
Got to get away from the fans. Put your head down.
Got to get away. Holy diver. Yeah. But Holy Diver there.
That was
from Dio.
we also saw. Do you do requests?
Death Guard. I only on. You got to PayPal me, mate. Sorry.
Can I? Well, no. Just one request though. Holy Diver.
That was Holy Diver.
I want to hear it again. You did so well. Encore.
Holy Diver, you've been down too long in the midnight sea. Yeah. We'll do a thing one day. You know, you're on guitar. We'll get Sultan in on drums. We'll do Holy Diver.
But I can play about as well as you can sing. Sultan can play guitar.
That'll be perfect. Yeah.
And I can hit things. I'll do the drums. Yeah. I'll hit things.
All right, you do the drums. Holy Diver coming to an STC near you. Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Death Guard got a thing. Did you see the Death Guard thing?
The contagions thing. They got contagions and they make objectives. Well, they already had contagions, so they keep contagions, and they've got contagions on objectives as well.
Well, here's the thing. Is everything going to be on the data sheets? Because ain't nobody got disgustingly resilient.
Ain't nobody got disgustingly resilient. No. Have we seen any dreadnoughts? Have we seen any dreadnoughts yet which reduce damage by 1? Have we seen any of them? Have we seen any leaks, any models that reduce damage by 1? Because also all of Beltan did it, didn't it? The Wraith Knights, the Wraith Glaives, the Wraith Cats,
all the Wraith
Bananas
did it.
The Wraith, scary bananas.
The Rude Boys, yeah.
Rude Boys, yeah.
Funny story. This isn't actually that funny, but I fought Mikey P's Wraith host thing with my Black Templars.
Did you?
And obviously the Black Templars have got 5-up invuln saves, and I had 5-up feel no pain on them from the chaplain.
Yeah.
And his guys are what are they called?
Ghosty
Who
boys.
are the ones? Yeah, the Ghost Boys. Yeah, the blue and yellow ones. The Andon. It's the Andon, I think.
Is it Andon? The Ghosty Boys. All the Wraith stuff.
And
Wraith
whoever
bananas.
it is, whoever they are, they've got they cancel -1 AP.
Right.
They reduce damage by 1, and they're kind of tough. So what actually happened is that once all my Primaris Crusaders charged in, and all of his boys charged in, we just stood there, hitting each other like, oh, invulnerable, feel no pain, oh, minus damage, minus AP, and that was it. We just stood there for a good hour and a half, just rolling buckets of dice, and no one was really dying or anything. So, you know, give me flat 12 damage, that's all I'm saying. Give me flat 12 damage on a thunder coil thing, please.
So, did you have fun then?
No, I cried a lot. I was really upset.
What with as well? That thing,
blowing my nose.
Yeah,
you know when you cry so much that you're nearly sick. That kids do it all the time. They're like, it was that.
Were you full sick?
I was full sick. Yeah, Mikey didn't care.
Picking it out, picking out of the beard. So. That's a news flash there. Update. You played a game of Warhammer 40k 9th edition, cried so much it made you puke.
Made me throw up, yeah.
Yeah, so looking forward to 10th. I'm looking forward to 10th too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And do you think it's going to be, from what we've seen, obviously, that's available to the public, is it going to be a fast-paced, pow kind of game, do we think, where everybody just dies and explodes in all directions?
Pow! Well, there's an overall reduction in AP, which I like. Okay. You've seen that, right?
I mean, I haven't really taken note of the fact there's an overall reduction in AP. But
yeah, if you look at, like, on a lot of the data sheets that they've released, like Thunder, like Fists, like AP2 now, not AP3, there's a sinking of AP. There is an increase at the top end of toughness and the strength of some of the mega weapons, but they're showing off the top end toughness and the mega weapons. Yeah. In the middle, though, I mean, Blightlord Terminator is getting only movement 4, but toughness 6, which means strength 12 weaponry only wounds them 1 of 4. So they're playing a lot more with that. Strength, toughness, save back. Another good example is at the bottom end, Skitari, toughness 3 with a 5-up save. Every AP -1 in weapon in the game, they're just getting their 6-up in Van. Toughness 3 with a 5-up. What is that all about? You're not going to see very many Skitari. It's going to all go back to the tracked ones. I forget the name. Combat servitors on the chassis.
The Cataphrod?
Cataphron destroyers and Cataphron breachers. It'll all go back to that. So you've got at the bottom end toughness 3 with a 5-up save. At the top end, you've got a toughness 6 with a 4-up save, 3 wounds, 4-up and vulnerable save Terminators. I like that there's so much of a division there. Gene Stealers at 2 wounds. I think that's to distinguish between elite units as opposed to Termagants, Hormogaunts, and now there's Barb Gaunts coming and another Gaunts coming. So all the Gaunts and Gants, they all have 1 wound, but Gene Stealers 2 wounds, and if the rumours are right, we're going to be seeing new Gene Stealer models at some point. And let's face it, they're a 25-year-old sculpt. They could do an update. Everybody loves Gene Stealers, particularly as the Terminators are getting so big. Now the Gene Stealers are going to look like little puppies. So you're going to need to make them bigger and scarier, like the new Screamer Killer. That's my favourite sculpt. That
beautiful
bad boy. I hope there's a couple of different poses. If that's a monopose kit, then I hope they sell a second pose kit. I don't know, but it looks,
because it is the closest we saw. What in one of our WhatsApp chats, someone posted like the evolution of the Screamer Killer.
Yes,
starting from the classic metal model from 2nd edition or whenever it was. I absolutely adored that at the time. It was incredible as well. It was huge. It had his big scissor arms, and actually, as we've gone up, we've almost gone all the way back round again, and it's kind of carrying that aesthetic of the original, but like much more dynamic. And I was very excited by that, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna have to get me a box of Leviathan, just because of all the cool models in it, and I want the Space Marines, and I'll put those Tyranids aside for the future, maybe.
There's going to be a lot of new Tyranid players out there, put it that way. The new models look fantastic.
Absolutely. And I want to say one more thing as well, in defence of them. I think the Gene Stealer models at the moment, the current ones, in terms of old models, I really still like them.
Yes.
I think they still hold up really well for such an ancient kit. The assembly part of them and the actual quality of the mould isn't amazing. They've got a lot of heavy flash to remove, but I like them. I like Gene Stealers.
Yeah, heavy flash to remove because it's an old mould, but you're right. I completely agree. They're one of the old sculpts that still holds up today. They just need to be bigger, because they'll look like little Yorkshire Terriers running around some Terminators, and it won't. No, you don't want that. They've got to be scary. No. They're aliens, and Gene Stealers are scary and cool. Everyone loves them. So
if you look at the size of them. Well, I was going to say, if you look at the size of those Gene Stealers against the Marines they were actually up against at the time, very deadly,
first ed,
they were incredibly scary.
Yeah, they were bigger.
And they need to get their Gene Stealers need to be feared again. I feel like there was a period of time in early editions where the thought of Gene Stealers was like, oh god, Gene Stealers, we've got to do. Everyone knows that they tear through people and stuff, and you've got to avoid them in melee at all costs. And I think they lost a bit of that, but I want to see that back. Scary Gene Stealers. Let's go.
Scary Tyranids. Once per battle, every battle, their thing, detachment rule is you take battle shock for all of the stuff in your army. It happens in your command phase. Yeah, that's their once. Everyone's got different rule, oath of moment.
Yeah, mega rule.
They've got, I think it's called Shadow in the Warp. They've got 2 things, Synapse and Shadow in the Warp. And Shadow in the Warp, they play once per battle. Everything in the opponent's army takes a battle shock test.
I like it. Now the way that battle shock works.
Yeah, it happens in the command phase, which is when battle shock takes place. So let's say start turn 3, you've taken all your battle shock tests as normal, and then I go, boom, Shadow in the Warp, playing that now. It's the command phase. Take them all again. Let's remove some OC from, and then unleash the beast. So I like that. That's nice.
It's very good, and it's also very narrative. There's definitely a spin towards narrative here, because when you read about full-on Tyranid attacks, even the Blood Angels were just, completely overwhelmed. It was completely terrifying. Imagine trying to crochet a banner.
Yeah.
Whilst that's going on, or hack into someone's iCloud account.
Hack into someone's iCloud.
Yeah, if Space Marine might have to get on, hack someone's.
When did the Blood Angels do that?
I don't know, but I'm just guessing that
you said they struggled.
It's not going to go away in the far future, is it?
Is it because Dante's old? That's why he couldn't hack.
Yes.
Because he's like, nah, before my time.
Dante He was there. He had the OG iPhone, the really big one. He knows what it's like. And yes, but under duress, a Tyranid invasion would be quite difficult to concentrate. Is what I'm trying to say. And I think it works really well. I think it's beautiful. I'm very excited, very happy for it. Except if they mess around with Black Templars too much. I want my vow.
You want a vow?
They're going to give me a vow, aren't they?
They'll give... Well... We're not even sure if they're going to give Black Templars a codex.
That's true. They could just be Space Marines.
They could just be... just be Space Marines. But didn't they say, or didn't I... Someone told me that they had said, so how reliable is this? I heard it from a mate who heard it from another mate who heard it from Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff knows a guy who works at Games Workshop. And he said, like, the Dark Angels Codex is coming, which means the Dark Angels Codex isn't sitting in the Space Marine Codex. So there's hope there for separate faction-specific codexes, such as Black Templars. So maybe you will get a codex.
Yeah. I've made it abundantly clear the only thing I want out of 10th edition, don't care about all these things I've been excited about. I literally want one thing. I want the Outriders to figure out how to ride with more than just 3 of them. Like,
right.
The Deathwatch can do it. The Deathwatch can have 5.
Yes.
Because I think your 6th one has to be whatever the core fast attack is that you have to have for it. But they can have 5.
Yes.
And no one else, like the White Scars, no one else, the Dark Angels with their Ravenwing have gone, guys, we could also ride as a 5.
No.
And be more efficient and be more effective and do more attacks.
Because
they haven't figured it out.
No, because the Deathwatch, right, they're like Jason Bourne and 007, and they get the advanced combat training, so on the bikes, and they go down the course, so they're allowed units of 5. But the Ravenwing and White Scars, even though they're born in the tracks, they're not CIA, okay? They're not the Deathwatch. They're not the dude from Taken or John Wick. They don't get the advanced pop a handbrake, spin round, hang out the passenger door, blah, blah. They don't get that, so they can't go in units of 5. I think that's fair.
But I like the idea of 3 of them driving along, and their one mate has been left behind. He's driving along with them, the 4th biker, and he's like, boys, wait for me. And he gets in line with them, and they all just look over and they're like, This isn't going to work. Yeah. This isn't going to work. I don't know how we can drive in a formation with 4 of us. This is outrageous. And they send him off. He's got to go somewhere else.
No, and he's revs back. Guys, didn't you hear there were 4 riders of the Hobbypocalypse? 4 riders. Hobbypocalypse, we ride. And everyone's like, no, piss off, monkey, piss off.
Yeah, yes. So, yeah, 2's company, 3's a crowd, 4 is absolutely unthinkable.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm hoping for. And you know what? Games Workshop, when do they miss an opportunity to sell 2 boxes of Outriders to make 1 unit instead of just 1? It works for them.
Okay, so I will say then, just to put some skin in the game, right?
Okay.
Let's bet, and I will take the opposing view, that they don't do it. Now, I still want the same thing as you, but I believe that they're that stupid. So I believe they're not going to allow Outriders to come in squads of 6, which is it just makes sense, and give them combat squad ability in 2 squads of whatever. Squad of up to 6. It doesn't. I bet they don't. I bet they don't like money that much, because they've shown us that they really don't like money.
They don't like money.
So how much are we putting on the line here?
I mean, nothing, because I'm almost 99% sure that you're correct right now.
We've got to, pitch up.
We'll put something in the game. All right.
No, put something in the game. $1 million.
$100 million.
Oh, how about 100 pence?
100 pence, all right.
100 pence. You big spender, you.
And I'll give you a Space Marine as well.
Will you? I don't. What if I don't want one of your Space Marines? What sort of Space Marine is it?
It's just an intercessor.
It's just an intercessor. I don't want an intercessor. I've got loads of intercessors.
Well, I know, but that's part of it. So, but
if
you
you said,
give me
I've given you...
No,
well, exactly. So if you turned around to me and said, plus I'll give you one of these painted Night Lords that I have, and then I would go, aha, sir, well, then I'd chuck in one of my painted Emperor's Children, and based on a beautiful base from marchofwar.co.uk. But that's some proper skin in the game. A painted Night Lords from your army who's my captor, and I can skin him alive and do all Night Lordsy things to him if I want to. Or, in return, you have one of my Emperor's Children, which you're not going to get anyway, so I'm happy to...
Well, that's the thing. I would love to have a proper skin in the game...
Come on now.
Bet, but I have to be confident in my bet to put things on the line like a Night Lord, and I'm really not confident that we're going to get 6 models in an Outrider unit. I just want that to happen.
Hey, Chris, you need to believe in yourself, okay?
I've got to believe in myself, haven't I?
You've got to believe in yourself.
All right.
I believe in you.
If they give us...
Yes.
Let's reverse this, right?
Right, okay, all right.
If they give us...
Yes.
6 Outriders in a unit.
Yep.
I will paint a Night Lord
or
for
more.
you to have as a
6
captor.
or more.
Or 6 or more. Yeah. If they
minimum
up it
6
from 3, I think it just needs to be more than 3 because we're stuck at 3.
Come on now, 4 is nothing. 3 to 4 is
6,
nothing.
6 Outriders.
6 Outriders.
6 or more Outriders.
Yes.
I will paint a Night Lord.
Yeah.
And it will be your captive. Do what you like with it.
Well, haven't you painted one yet? I'll take Sevatar if you have.
You're not having Sevatar. I love Sevatar. You can't have Sevatar.
Well, back there, I happen to have Solomon, Demeter, Sol, Tarvitz, Lucius, the Flawless Blade, painted, ready to rock, baby. And you've Sevatar, is he painted?
No, so I don't. I haven't got him yet.
You haven't even
he's
got
not
him.
arrived.
Have you got any Night Lords?
I've got plenty of Night Lords. Yeah, I've got 40k and 30k Night Lords. Yeah.
Okay, we'll stick to normal Night Lord, normal Emperor's Children. Okay, I don't know who mentioned Sevatar. I don't know who got excited there, but on the line. Okay, handshake, hi, fist bump or something. Or okay,
there we go.
Right, good. Yeah.
Bam.
Okay.
All right. So that's half the episode gone, and we haven't even started yet with
questions.
With the questions that people have sent in, and I really want to. We got to talk about some of the stuff.
How do people post questions, Warsmith Chris?
So basically, if you want to, so the next part of this episode, we're going to be answering some questions that people have come in. People have come onto the Winters SEO Discord. They've gone into a special thread that we've got called STC Questions. They've asked these questions. I have painstakingly gone through those questions and pinned the ones that I think we could have a little chat about, and we're going to talk about it now. And you can do this too. You can join in with this, and all you have to do, Winters, is sign up for which tier of the Winters SEO
to get
channel
your question answered live, not live, on air, not on air, is become at least a tier 2 channel member where you get to join my Discord. But don't do that. If you're pitching in at tier 2 for £1 more, become a tier 3 channel member. Great way to double, triple your Winters SEO content and also unlock my personal Discord. Thank you.
I think I'm one of those ones, aren't I?
Who?
Yeah, that was beautifully delivered. And on top of that, we've now got another thread, which I didn't even know about till I found out live.
What?
On live. But we've got another thread where you can chat with other people about the questions that have been asked. Great.
Oh, you didn't notice that? What people were doing is they were coming to the STC law questions, and then other people are replying to them. So what was happening was the questions are getting really spread out. So now we've got a second line. So people who want to talk about some of the questions that was asked, or talk other law questions, basically. There's a whole law section with the STC on the top, and it spawned and it made beautiful Discord babies.
Little babies came out of it.
Yeah.
And you can...
What?
You can join that. Yeah, you can do that. Anyway, should we have a look at some of these questions? I'm going to start with some weak questions.
Okay.
Then we're going to move into some stronger questions. Then we're going to end on a silly question.
Okay.
The weakest question so far comes from that guy.
You ranked these.
Yeah, I've ranked them.
Just
the
calling
weakest
it
question,
out. Just shouting it out there. You're ranking these.
Yeah, I'm ranking these. I'm judging you, and I'm writing it down in my mind palace. I've got a notepad, and in there, I've said that JB Inc., who's also known as that guy, this guy, you call him
this guy,
you call him something. This guy said he's
down there.
He's there.
Yeah.
He says, "Who's the next loyalist Primarch we'll see as a new model in 40k?" What kind of question is that? That's not law. That's just wild speculation, right?
Yeah. So let's speculate. I'm saying Lehman Russ. What are you saying?
I'm saying Jagatai Khan.
Okay, they're both as likely as each other, I think.
Why not? So yeah, that's the weak question out the way. We got some interesting stuff here that I'm looking forward to delving into. But let's start off with Fletcher. This is in chronological order now. Fletcher asks, since Vashdor is on his way to being a chaos god in his own right, does that not require him to be worshipped? Because I know he's the god of building stuff and technology, so is his end goal to make such cataclysmic technologies that the psychic backlash pushes him over the threshold into godhood? Or is it so he picks up worshippers as he goes? Fletcher's is going on the warp-based logic that if enough people believe something or experience something or are to do with something, that it spawns a warp entity, which then or it powers a warp entity. Like if lots of people are sick, lots of plagues going on, all that powers up Nurgle, kind of thing. So I guess Fletcher's asking how do we think Vashdor is going about this? Well,
Fletcher's saying that Vashdor needs people to worship him to give him power. But Khorne, Nurgle, Tzeentch and Slaanesh don't need worship to get power. Blood must flow, skulls for the skull's throne. So long as there is war and eternal war, Khorne is powerful. Worship is just a cherry on the cake. And Khorne is the oldest god. It's been telling, and the first god, Chaos Goddess, tells us that again and again and again in all the Chaos Codexes. Vashdor doesn't need worship. But Vashdor is a being, he's the things, the bad thoughts and the bad deeds and the bad omens and the bribes and the corruption that spills out of creating stuff, of going too far. And until there was stuff, Vashdor couldn't be born. But now there's more stuff and more technical stuff and more things. It's the scientist that kept going even though he should have stopped. It's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He's Frankenstein's Frankenstein. He's all those characters in the hearts of humans everywhere. And he is also someone who's doing deals with other Chaos Gods all the time who are feeding him souls, which he takes 1, 2 for me, 1 in the binding machine, 5 for me, 1 in that machine there. 2 for me, that's 2 obliterators back to, 4 for me, that's 2 obliterators back to you. So he's been getting souls another way. He is the person who didn't stop when every moral fibre in their being was telling them to stop. And these people make, I don't know, weapons that destroy the world. So a little bit of worship on top might help, but he doesn't really need it, and he's an inevitability. So long as the galaxy levels up and gets more and more technologically advanced, and the warp is in the way it is, then he will have power to rival the Chaos Gods eventually, but not in our lifetime of 40k. He's going to be one of these like Bellic. He's going to be a thing always nibbling. He's going to be a bridesmaid, never the bride, I fear.
I really like that. I hadn't really looked at it in that way, that Vashdor does represent an element of human behaviour. It's a bit of everything, because it's a bit of excess, it's a bit of violence, ultra-violence, it's a bit of entropy, it's a bit of destruction, it's a bit of change,
the machines, the cogs,
a little bit of everything all in one.
Yep.
Absolutely love it. Well,
that's what we're here, answering these Lawmaster questions on the STC. Live, not live.
That was beautifully done. Badger King.
Yes.
Badger King, I'm pretty sure Badger King is a good person I have met maybe a couple of times now at our events and things.
Great memory.
Badger King asks, Eldar and says Croc. They're not Croc. They are
Croc.
Croc, yeah. Eldar and Croc are Old One created species.
Yes.
Are there any others that are likely influenced by the Old Ones? Any chance the Old Ones, like the Necrons, are playing a long game and might still be influencing younger races? For example, Tau suddenly becoming spacefaring in a short time.
Krog become Orc. They're all the ones made by them are influenced by them, including the Harad, which use radiation weaponry, Jokeros. There's a bunch of others that I can't remember. But yeah, they made a bunch of races. There are obviously the Old Ones made biological weapons, which could also go in the warp, Eldar, versus the Necrons science. It was a real, but yeah. And they're dead in all of the lore. I mean, no one's ever really dead, right? Any ERD. But in all of the lore ever, they've always said that they lost. And if they do something to retcon that, then that cheapens the Necrons' victory, because the Necrons are the only force that wiped out all life in the galaxy and won, except for some of the remaining Eldar that are still out there, hiding in the webway, doing Eldar things. But they're the force that killed the dinosaurs. Don't cheapen the force that killed the dinosaurs. They've written it directly in to Warhammer 40k lore. So when all of us 40k fans there are growing up, and our little Timmies and our little princesses, and they're all grown up, and they say, "Daddy, what killed I heard the dinosaurs died 60 million years ago, and the teacher in school said it was a meteorite impact." You can go, no, there was the war in heaven. And the Necron, essentially, these mindless machines won and exterminated all life almost down to biological level, and then went to sleep because there was... Once they gaze upon the ruin of their victory, they thought, "Oh well, we can't biotransfer. Let's go to nap." And then the Eldar came out of their holes, a bit like small shrew-like beings came out of their holes on this planet. The Eldar came out there, and here we are. It wasn't some meteorite. That's fake news.
Yeah. So we need to start.
So don't put the old ones back in. That's what I'm saying. If you put the old one, you cheapen that. Go on, sorry.
Don't cheapen it.
Go.
Too much stuff is retconned. I fully agree with you, actually. Too much stuff is retconned. I guess to satisfy the ending of that question, Badger King was talking about the fact that the Tau has got a bit of an enigmatic storyline where they were kind of primitive, and then you had this the race of the ethereal caste came along, and all of a sudden Tau became very advanced very quickly. And I guess what he was alluding to was is there another race in the galaxy that was influencing that? But we're saying it's not the Old Ones; they're dead. But perhaps there is another.
The Tau were influenced by the Eldar. Some of their Fireseers saw the incoming High Fleet Behemoth thousands of years before primitive Tau were ever discovered on this particular planet. And what they did was they got some of the primate type creatures on the original planet and some spider DNA, and they merged the two, and the modern Tau are genetically engineered Tau superhumans. You know, like ancient aliens? Like, aliens definitely came to this planet and monkeyed with their DNA to make us normal humans, right? I mean, we're probably weapons of the Old Ones as well. I think we've established that on Ancient Aliens. Well, that's what happened to the Tau as well, with spider DNA. There's a whole backstory, lots of stuff which you can pick up, and hints and tips to how the Eldar saw. So what they did was, why they were monkeying around with is because they saw Behemoth coming, so they thought a psychically null race, which could be spurned into technological, psychically null, would form a fire break against the craft worlds deeper into Segmentum Pacificus. And then it was many thousands of years after that the Imperium found them, and then a few 4,000 years after that, and look where we are now, and they are the perfect fire break. So it's just Eldar doing Eldar things, making primitive Tau spider monkeys have sex with spiders.
Oh, nice.
And they were null spiders. So
in some ways then,
it happens all the time. It's all out there. Watch Ancient Aliens. It happens all the time.
I know about the Ancient Aliens. We all know that that's history now. Yeah. But because that guy with the hair said, and you don't fuck about. If you've got hair like that, you don't. Yeah. Aliens, yeah.
I know you've got hair like that under your hat as well.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I've got to keep it down, otherwise it would be too much for some people. But that means the Eldar, who are created by the Old Ones, in a way, through the actions, through the way they were created, have influenced the Tau. So it is kind of a domino effect, starting with the Old Ones. Eh? Yeah?
It's those pesky Eldar again.
Okay. This is going to test your bug lore.
Okay.
It's from Ben.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Crab.
Oh, I
There's
don't like
crab
that
emoji.
It's a crab.
As well.
Grr.
Ben crab.
Ben crab. Hi,
I
Ben
could
crab.
be wrong. That is not a strong way to start your question, Ben. Be more confident in yourself.
Yeah.
If I'd have been more confident earlier, right, when Winters said to me, "What's that picture from?" I should have just gone, "Flight of the Eisenstein, mate." And he would have been like, "Hey, well done." And instead I was like, "Oh, I'm not sure. It's definitely one of the first 4." And I, could have come along. So, Ben, go back in, edit the message. I could be wrong. Don't start with that.
No.
Just make a statement and be wrong or be right. It doesn't matter. But if you're wrong, own it. I could be wrong, but Tyranids don't mess with chaos / can't be corrupted by chaos. Most of the other races in 40k who are similarly incorruptible just don't interact with the warp, as far as I can see. That's going back to Tau and things like that. E.g. Necrons, Tau, yeah. However, the Nids have loads of psychers, so how does this work? Is it similar to the Grey Knights where they just project themselves really well, or is it something more fundamental? So that question boils down to how come the Nids can be so powerful in the warp and yet not be obviously constantly corrupted by chaos.
Bless you. Well, in some strange sense, it's similar but completely dissimilar to the Grey Knights. Similar in the sense that the Grey Knights are fine in the warp because demons, they're so pure. They're psychic beings, pure. They're so pure that even if demons look their way, it hurts them. It's so they can, like Magnus, they're shooting stars going through this.
Yeah.
And the synapse in the warp is a similar thing. The shadow of the warp is a similar thing. It is white static. It is the best way to describe the impact of the shadow in the warp to the warp is like white noise, chalks running down background, radio turned up to full static, full blast, in your ears, sensory. That's what the shadow in the warp is. This screaming, tearing death of trillions and quadrillions and an innumerable number of souls. And it blanks out everything else. So that's the impact that it has on the warp as well. And as far as we know, when it comes to warp lore and chaoses, the chaos of very little. The pure demons and the pure stuff of chaos has very little to say at all in any sources about the shadow and the warp, and that's probably because they can't even comprehend it. It's a space beyond them. The only way they ever get any kind of comprehension of anything behind the shadow and the warp is when they're in physical form and they're fighting in real space against Tyranids, and then they'll be like, "What is this? Haven't seen this, doesn't make sense." They've got that. So yeah, they're a real anathema to the warp itself.
So if we were to say that chaos were a door-to-door salesman, and so the Grey Knights are, you open the door, the salesman knocks on the door, hi, I'm chaos, door opens, the Grey Knight is on the other side, is just a bloke completely butt naked, standing there, arms on his hips. The sight is too much,
definitely,
for the salesman to behold. Too much bush, or if they just got back from holiday, they might have trimmed all that bush. And it's too much shiny majesty, right? Could have applied some wax. Could have applied some lovely scented oils and
just
stuff.
Just clothes, Chris. Just clothes. Could have applied some clothes.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. But then the chaos. Just I'm out of here, right?
Yep.
But Tyranids, The salesman knocks on the door opens, normal bloke standing there. Just as the salesman starts to speak, bloke's got a pneumatic drill, starts drilling through the patio, the front door step. Every time the bloke tries to speak, pneumatic drill, can't get a word in edgeways. That's basically two analogies that describe that, right?
That's just goddamn perfect there. Well done.
Spot on.
Yeah.
There you go. Thanks for that. Ben, and remember, go back.
Grr.
Strengthen your position. And what's the crab about? I want to actually know about that. Reply in the STC. Tag me where the crab comes from. Unless it's really a personal story that's really deep and complex, and you just, I put this crab on there. I don't really like talking about it. It means a lot to me. Blah blah blah. You don't have to tell me. That's the case.
Yeah, basically what Warsmith Chris is asking is, tell me about the crab, but if in any way, shape or form the crab actually matters to you, then keep that shit to yourself. He doesn't want to know.
I don't want to get involved.
Yeah.
Fabius Bile, the primogenitor, fantastic human. What's the lore behind the 13th Guard regiments? I mean, that's a big ask to just want the lore. Oh, just tell me all the lore behind the 13th Guard regiments, and when will we see them on the tabletop? Will we see them on the tabletop? Is this a thing that you want?
Quick answer then. So the 13th Fleet is over a couple of million people in many, many, many ships. And obviously, as they are a fleet nation, and you can listen to some of the lore and find out how they go about doing their business. But as they're a fleet nation, everyone who's born, lived or dies there does one of two things. They either serve the fleet or serve the civilian populace inside the fleet. So look after the ships or look after the people. Looking after the people includes some of them enlisting into the 13th Militarum. So the 13th Militarum is about 10 times the size of the 13th Space Marines. That's the law. When will we see them on the tabletop? I don't know. I don't know.
He doesn't know. I guess it would have to be a time where you felt excited about that. You'd have to feel the need, because that'd be quite a big project, I imagine.
Well,
you'd have to be very excited about Guard.
Yeah. Well, I've got about a 2,000 point list that I could field.
Oh.
But I just haven't done it yet.
Okay.
I think the main problem was something called 9th edition. Don't ever play it. It made my friend sick. All in his beard, had to pick it. Yeah.
Yes.
But 10th edition is coming, so hopefully we'll be able to see some 13th Militarum.
And I'd love to fight them with my Night Lords, except if you're right, and commissars can just make them fearless with the las pistol. Brilliant. But I don't want to fight them with my Night Lords,
The only army.
That would suck. True story. Now, true story time. You know this story because you're one of the people in it. But I hadn't listened to I had listened to some of it. I hadn't listened to all of the 13th story time prior to episode 1 of the STC. So I thought I'd better listen to it before the STC. And I found out that it's not just a pair of sunglasses and a pretty hat. The lore for the 13th is really good. And I only found that out just before. He said to me, you should, we decided we were going to do the first episode on the 13th, and then you were like, you should listen to them, I'm proud of them, you should listen to them.
And you didn't.
And I was like, oh, okay. And I did. No, I did. I listened to all of them. And I was actually I was like, oh, this is why the people have subscribed to this YouTube channel, because he's all right at what he does, I guess. And turned out I really enjoyed the stories. So I'm invested as much as anyone in the future of the 13th. But like you said, there's a lot going on right now. Yeah. There's the 9th, and I've seen a lot of the End of All Things. That's been there's been a lot of them. I like them. They're good.
Because they were easier to play at the end of 9th, -1 to all damage, -1 toughness. That was it. That was their party trick. It was turned on all the time. I'm looking forward to playing Necrons quite a bit in the new edition, because I did have a big passion project towards the end of ninth, getting together nearly 9,000 points worth of Necrons, and then I'm smashing out some Horus Heresy stuff. But I've still got some Necron models up there, and I'm interested to see what new Necron models they release. And going on, I've done a journey with the 13th. We've done quite a journey with the End of All Things, to be fair, because we've seen the Corruptor come and go in our time, if you followed me for any length of time. Polis was of the twins. One of them is gone. We're seeing quite a journey with the End of All Things, and I'm looking forward to seeing what sort of journey I can take with the Necrons.
You know what the best
I'm
bit?
Most excited to play for 10th. Go on.
The best bit about the End of All Things, I think everyone else is going to agree with this as well, is when they stood beside the Mephitic Madrigal, which was another very well-known Death Guard.
Very well-known.
A very well-known Death Guard force, and they stood their ground, and they fought back and destroyed many forces from Volcanis and the Mordians and whatever it was that Andy Byrne brought along.
Yep. Return to Sentinel campaign.
Yeah, we stood side by side, and we trashed those boys. It was fantastic.
We made it was embarrassing at the end, to be honest.
Disgusting. I had a bit of a bad defeat in the middle at a different mission to the Mordians, but we had to give. I did it deliberately, so that
we had to punch drunk a bit on the ropes, right? In the earlier missions, make them feel like, because pride comes before a fall, they say.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. And then they hit our steel wall at the end, and they just bounced. I think Sultan, that's the very last time he ever played with that army. I think that was it. I think he went back on his Space Marine kick after that.
I think he did, yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, no, he did. No, he really did, yeah. And then you made him fight more End of All Things anyway, so
yeah,
there was no escape.
Fun with friends.
Yeah, fun with friends. Is he still your friend now? Is he...
Definitely. I love Sultan. Couldn't eat a whole one, but he's a nice lad. Yeah.
I heard a rumor.
What?
Because he's got a nice new hobby space and everything. I heard a rumor that you took the grisliest army round to christen his new hobby space.
Oh mate, it's not a rumor. Do you want to
tell me? Give me the story.
So Sultan moved to a new gaff, right? And on the top floor, above his top floor, he's got a lovely hobby. It's better than my hobby room. It's bigger because he can also fit his desk in there. He's got a couch in there. He's got his hobby painting space in there, and a 6x4, and enough for terrain. And he was like, "Come round," and I went, "Nah." And I was playing because I play a lot here. And then he was like, "Come round." I was like, "Nah." And then, because I was playing and I enjoying the heresy, and then like a good 6 weeks in, he's like, "Come round." I'm like, "I bet I can't really. I've got to go round." He's come round my house a few times. I don't know if you know. Anyway, so you got to be humble. I got in the car, went round there, bought the. He said, "I want to do Space Marines." He said, "I'm bringing these Space Marines." I said, "I'll bring Space Marines as well. I'll bring the 13th." And he was like, "Yeah, definitely the 13th. I like beating the 13th after combat school with the Blood Angels." And I thought, right. Okay. So I bought the 13th.
That's a challenge. He
round there
the challenge
against a weak army, Black Templars. You know, who plays them? Who would ever play them?
All right, that's a bit much.
And with the 13th, without a second codex or anything, just got rid of the Black Templars by turn 3, as you do. And I christened his new room, his gaff, and we said thank you. And yeah,
Winters, how many Hellblasters did you take?
I didn't bring 2 squads of 10. I got 25. I was like, I can't bring 2 squads of 10. So I didn't bring 2 squads of 10.
What did you bring?
2 squads of 8 and an apothecary that picked them up for free.
That's so horrid.
What?
I love it though. I love it. When I say it was a rumour, I'd say what I meant is that he was really upset about it and told me. And it was just like, can't believe he did it. He brought like 1 million Hellblasters. And I was just like, that sounds, what do you expect? Like,
I thought, he got to christen his new place. Gotta make him see, because every game after that game now will be an improvement. So you should be thanking me. It's like every game cannot be that bad.
That's true. Yeah.
So yeah, and I have told him I'll go back round his place and have another game at some point. And with 10th coming out, I'm sure I'm going to be playing a lot more than I'm going to be filming. I'm looking forward to playing 40k in a less complicated way again.
Yeah, and just enjoying it and enjoying what happens on the table. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Enjoying the story unfolding on the table.
And my best bit is enjoying the story unfolding on the table and finding new ways to make Sultan cry.
Yes. Right, we've got loads more questions, so let's crack on.
Right.
Triple D.
Triple D.
Triple D. How do ships navigate the warp if there's a blank on board? That's a question I don't know the answer to.
Yeah, quite easily. The navigators and the astropaths, in fact, they're in like a sealed container which has got writing on the wall, and they've got the incense, all that sort of stuff, and it's a special container. It's like a Pokemon ball in the heart of a ship, and they've got people working for them, and they'll take what the astropaths are saying, or the navigator, and they'll literally, this is from the navigator's chamber, we need to take the next left, third turning on the right, and then stop at the, that sort of thing. So yeah, they sit inside balls and they text to speech down to the bridge. It's like a sat nav.
I was about to say, so it's like a really overcomplicated and slightly gross sat nav. Does it say at the next opportunity make a U-turn, and you're like, I can't make a U-turn here, and then it says make a U-turn.
If you don't make a U-turn there, it's die heretic, bolt gun to the head.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go, Triple D. Easy. Pokeballs. Drimor. In your opinion, who has the most impressive feats in the Horus Heresy and 40k? That's quite a big question, really.
Oh, Horus.
Emperor and Primarchs not included.
Oh, Euphrates Tequila. Next question.
Want to elaborate, or we're just going to leave
Euphrates Tequila, she started the religion. She Billy Joel didn't start the fire.
Yeah.
Well, Euphrates Tequila did. She lit the match. The whole Black Templars, religion, everything. Her.
That's an impressive feat. Starting the Imperial Truth and
the Imperial religion, the cult Imperial, Pax Imperialis.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. I'm trying to think. There's been many impressive feats.
Well, they don't get much bigger than that. That's like Jesus level. That is like Buddha level. That's Muhammad level. That is Thor level. Did he start one? He didn't start one.
Probably not. But I've just got to say, I apologise.
The Emperor's my favourite god anyway.
After that,
what?
I laughed a bit there, and now I'm all like, juicy.
Nice.
Juicy. We always like a little bit of Wrath of Constantine. He's always there. He's like a little guy that's on your shoulder who's always there, ever present.
Like a tea light on a Christmas tree.
Like a tea light on a Christmas tree. Just adding that little extra bit.
Yeah.
Would the Kroot and Catachans work together? Now, there's a simple answer to this. And that is, would they work together if the Catachans were Catachans and the Kroot were Kroot and they came across each other in the jungle? No, they'd probably have already killed each other. Would they work together if a bunch of Catachans defected and joined the greater good? Then of course they would.
Here's the thing. Catachans would never work with Kroot. So most Imperial regiments or detachments are only infantry. Gaunt's Ghost, famously, is an infantry regiment. And then you have the such and such Fusiliers and the such and such tank company. There are very few combined arms regiments, detachments, factions, Imperial Guard stuff in 40k, because it was disbanded after the heresy. Just like the legions were broken up into chapters, the Imperial Army were broken up into a tank and artillery regiment, a thing here and there. Only very few worlds were allowed to stay as a combined arms or earned that right. And there's like Cadia, Krieg, the Freud, the Firstborn, them, the Talan, And Catechans, they're a combined arms company. They can bring whatever they want. The Steel Legion. There's literally these 10 legions are literally the only legions in the entire of the galaxy. There's 10, maybe 15 of them that can bring combined arms. It was so the Catechans, and to hold on to that combined arms certification, to bring your artillery with your science, to keep your certification, you can never turn traitor or have any regiments at any point ever turn to chaos ever. And the Catechans haven't done that for 10,000 years.
Okay. They've
remained loyal no matter what. They'd rather put bolt guns to their heads than play with Kroot.
Well, there you go. Wrath of Constantine. Would the Kroot and Catechans work together? Not on your life. They'd rather put a bolt pistol to the head, to the brain.
They're Starship Troopers. The only good Berg is a dead Berg. Literally.
Kroot apparently are very pungent as well.
Are they?
They got a very pungent aroma, and I think they're quite scary to be around. They're very
What do they smell like? Lemongrass? Lavender?
I reckon lemongrass and fecal matter.
Ooh, that is pungent.
Yeah, that would be a big smell. It probably is lemongrass as well, and hair.
I threw that out there for you to catch, and you went with fecal matter.
Okay, that's what we went with.
Yeah,
Tomo.
That's why I love you.
Tomo asked an interesting question that you probably do know. You probably do know an official answer to this.
Maybe.
But I've got obviously my own thoughts. Tomo says, what does Nurgle make of the Perpetuals? Don't they fly in the face of entropy? I think... So this is borrowing a little bit from Age of Sigmar, right? There's a chamber, not a chamber, whatever a chapter is in the Stormcast Eternals. It's the equivalent of a chapter. They have ones that are very much like the Grey Knights. They're very, very faithful, and their faith in Sigmar alone prevents them from being corrupted. And what they do is they put bits of Nurgle stuff in their armor, which is constantly attacking them and melting their flesh. But then their faith in Sigmar is constantly healing it at the same time, and it's kind of like we're so into Sigmar that we're going to prove it by literally having chaos with us at all times and not being corrupted. So I have a feeling with the Perpetual, wouldn't it just be a constant cycle of entropy and regrowth, which I think would actually maybe appeal to someone like Nurgle who's into that cycle.
Maybe, yeah.
What's your take on this one?
Well, you see, Warsmith Chris, it depends on your Perpetual. Whether you're going with your common garden Perpetual, right, the one who tends to die and then come back, and die and come back and die. That's your most common one, but there are some Perpetuals that just don't die. They get knocked down. They get up again. You ain't never going to keep them down. They get knocked down. They get up again. And that's how that goes. There's ones that souls fade back into the warp and then come whispering back out of the warp again with their same old body on, even if their body was burnt to a crisp. It depends on the type of Perpetual that you mean to be talking about there. What does Nurgle think about him? Probably doesn't like him, does he? Probably doesn't like that.
No. But he might like the ones that fully die.
Do die, those Perpetuals. And
then come back up again. He might be into that, because he gets to rot them over and over again. It's a bit like Khorne bringing all the orcs back to fight again, right? So he gets to experience the entropy over and over again. I think the ones that just get back knocked down and get back up again, that would be quite annoying.
I think he'd give them Perpetuals mixed reviews there. Probably 3.5 stars out of 5. Probably for your Perpetuals would be Papa Nurgle. Yeah.
Just can't keep them down.
No
one's ever going to keep them down.
They get back up again.
Yeah. And they drink a whiskey drink, they drink a vodka drink.
Do they?
Yeah.
Do they also drink a lager drink and a cider drink?
Yeah. They sing a song to remind them of the good times.
Do they sing a song to remind them of the bad times?
Yeah. Oh, don't cry for me. Danny boy. Yeah, it's been a while. We've got one last question. It's just outrageous, this question.
This is the most musical STC that we've had. I love it. Come on, outrageous question.
Singing. This is what happened, you see. Winston's been on holiday. We had a little while off while he was getting all tanned up and sexual, and he came back and he trimmed everything. I feel like it's revitalised us. It's given us a fresh energy.
Zesty, like a lemon. Come on, let's go.
Very zesty. Final question. Outrageous. Commander Niam, if you had to give each legion an accent, what would you give them? For example, I imagine the Imperial Fist to sound German, and of course the Space Wolves sound and talk like Vikings.
Right.
This prompted a conversation where people were like saying, wouldn't it be funny if such and such were Scousers? And wouldn't it be funny if such and such were Brummies and things like that? All a load of nonsense. However, I'm going to do one. I'll just do one.
Just one. Fuck it. Two is far out. One, I'll do one.
So in a lot of the Night Lords books, they have this kind of, a couple of different narrators have done these ones, and they give the Night Lords this kind of. Have you seen Hotel Transylvania?
I think so. Yeah, it's a cartoon thing.
Yeah, it's a cartoon thing, and I think Adam Sandler does the main vampire's voice, and it is this weird, like, I guess it's supposed to be like a Romanian.
Bless you.
Sorry, it's supposed to be something from that area anyway. I think it's just a mishmash, and it's like, hello, I'm a Night Lord, right? I think if you're going to do it, you want to go for the full, the Count from Sesame Street style, full-ish, put all the emotion into it. One, kind of thing. I think that would be great. I think they should all talk like Sesame Street vampire talk. There we go. That's my one.
Okay, I like it. Would that impact sense of immersion while listening to a Black Library novel? Maybe.
Not at all, no.
No. No.
Very sorry, everyone. I've got a tickle in my chest. I think the classic ADB Night Lords trilogy would be greatly enhanced if Talos talked to Septimus and Octavia like that. Yeah. Septimus! Octavia!
You know what? Yeah, I could see that happening. That'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a YouTube short idea. You're just throwing out £1,000 ad revenue YouTube shorts there like that.
Yeah.
Someone could pick that up, make $1,000. Boom. Someone with the editing skills. Do that with some. Yeah. Just one. It was a good one. Well done. I'm not going to do the other 17.
No.
Because the question was, what do you think they should all be? That's a silly question.
Yeah, that's too many.
Earlier on, you went back to the other question that was silly. What did he start off with? I might be. What did he?
That guy said, "What's the next Primarch?" or something, which is like.
But he started off with, "I might be wrong" or something. That guy who, when he mucked up a question earlier.
The crap.
Yeah, him. He mucked up his question.
Yeah.
I don't mean to go back and reverse back over that corpse and run it over one more time in reverse gear and then push it into first gear and run back over him again and say, what was that guy's name who mucked up that question?
Wait a minute. Sorry, I know that you were making a point there.
This guy is mucking up a question by saying, what's the accent for all 18 legions? It's too many. That's a crap question.
That's too many, but Adam...
Right.
Hyphen AEL miniatures or AEL miniatures says Death Guard with a Somerset accent. I quite like that. Very farmery, very peaty, composty kind of. I like it.
Oh, I can't write and I can't ride, but that don't really matter because I come from Swindon town and I can drive a tractor.
Wait,
that's
we've got
tractor for our international audience. Tractor.
White Scars should be Geordie. Sorry, there we go, from Terran Conclave.
I think the Imperial Fist. I think the Imperial Fist should be Scottish, but Glaswegian Scottish. You know, imagine the Imperial Fist stood up there going, "What do you want me?" I don't know. I can't do. Do your best Glaswegian Scottish.
What do you want them to say? Because
they stood on the wall banging their shields.
What do they want to say? Cut. Yeah.
Get away from me, you scabby English or something. I don't know.
Get away from me, you scabby English.
Yeah, perfect. On the wall with that bit.
Yeah.
I could see that. Like, if you
I really apologise to the Scottish viewers.
Why?
That was
good
because I don't know if that was Glaswegian. I feel like Glaswegian is more aggressive,
right?
And if that was your native Scottish sound, if it sounded similar, and you're from like Edinburgh or something,
I
didn't mean to do that because I know that Glasgow is a lot worse than Edinburgh. Right, that's one thing I do know.
I think everybody knows
Glasgow,
that.
Yeah, I apologise that happened to you, but let me know what your accent's like, because I think I've been too scared of Glaswegians to actually even listen to know what they sound like.
That's what I meant. A bunch of them in yellow armour telling you to get out of here. You'd go. You'd be it works.
I'd be out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
that was a beautiful accent, though. That was a beautiful accent. I didn't know you could do Scottish so well. I can't do Scottish.
Get out of here. Here. I ruined it, didn't I?
That was magical.
Ruined it right at the end. Yeah. Anyway,
I can do West Country. That's all I can do is West Country.
Yeah, West Country's nice.
I grew up round here, didn't I? So I can do a bit of West Country in it.
Yeah, one of our lads is who is it? Rob. No,
not Steve,
not Rob. He's one of the
Steve, not Rob.
He's a West Country guy, isn't he? Isn't he?
He's from Dorset.
Yeah, that's what they sound like in Dorset.
Yeah, so they sound like in Dorset. Yeah.
Yeah. And I wouldn't actually. If you, I don't know if Steve, not Rob, watches this, but unless he's done his back in again or something, in which case this is totally fine. But don't remember this next time we meet, because he can fight people, can't he? He's quite a warrior. It's like 20 years of mixed martial art training. Yeah. So maybe I shouldn't go too hard on the old West Country.
He used to coach and stuff. He's a lovely man, but you wouldn't want to. Basically, if he's your number 2 in a bar fight, you're good.
Yeah. But if you're taking the piss out of his accent to his face and he's had a few,
he'll probably laugh and say, he talks about it. He's a nice guy. He'll laugh with you and share a drink.
Brilliant. Okay.
Yeah.
No bad blood. Brilliant. We had a load of questions today. Some of them were good, some of them were bad, some of them weren't sure of themselves, some of them didn't have the confidence to just make statements, bold and strong. Don't fear ridicule on here. I don't think Winters has ever made fun of anyone. He wouldn't do that. He just wouldn't. I
was going to go the other way, which is don't fear ridicule on here because you're going to get ridiculed.
Because you're going to get ridiculed.
Don't fear it. It's going to happen.
Yeah, it's inevitable. Yeah, it's inevitable. So, anyway, I really appreciate all the questions. That's all the questions. I did all of them pretty much.
All of the questions. Do we all?
We did all of the questions, I think, right, unless they were really.
No, you said we really appreciate all of the questions. I want to live edit. Live edit. Yeah. Right. Start again.
We don't. Some of them are rubbish. Right. Joe's
Start
question.
the close out again. Then I really appreciate some of the questions. Okay. Right. Yeah. Live edit. We can cut that out. Bless you.
Okay, back in. You've disappeared now off the screen.
Have
we really appreciated some of the questions. Yeah, I can't even see you anymore. This is just collapsing.
I can see you. I can see you. You're fine. There.
We appreciate some of the questions. Please give us more. It's great fun. Thanks for joining us again for another hour and 20 minutes or whatever this is of fantastic lore content and speculation. I've had a great time. I love all of you. Do you love the people too, Winters? Or
most of them? Most of them. Some of them play with Eldar. What can you do? But most of them, I really enjoyed myself as well. Nice to catch up with you, Mr. Warsmith Chris. I don't know why I'm still calling you Warsmith Chris. Other than that, that's stuck now since you're playing with Black Templars and White Scars. What is that all about? And I'm going the Chaos way. But it's good to be back. Thank you everyone. Happy wargaming.
We'll see you soon. Love you.
No, if you hadn't have said we'll see you soon, if you'd like cut after the happy wargaming thing, and now we've got we'll see you soon, that was a perfect cut. And then you came in over the top.
What did go back a minute?
Live edit. Live edit.
Yep.
Yeah, so Eldar players are really terrible people, and who would want to be one, see one, or even talk to one? Apart from that, I appreciate the rest of you. Happy wargaming.